Nightfall brings change to the mangrove. In the darkness, the flowers of the Soneratia unfold and lure nocturnal pollinators with their pungent odor. Cousin of the larger flying fox, this small bat is covered with pollen as it laps the sweet nectar. During the night, the bat will visit many trees, transporting pollen to other blossoms. Mudskippers are also active at night, and so are their predators. Dog-faced snake is unique among snakes of the mangrove. It hunts almost exclusively on the mudflats, preying on the plentiful numbers of mudskippers and crabs. A butterfly has laid a single egg on the branch of a tree. Now the caterpillar emerges. It will spend its life eating leaves until it develops into a butterfly. For leaf-eating insects, the mangrove forest is a mosaic of poisons. Except for Soneratia, most trees have developed their own particular chemical defense. This presents a problem for insects that lack mobility. They must feed exclusively on the one tree whose poison they have overcome. Those who feed on the leaves of the Soneratia face another hazard: the weaver ants that colonize these trees. The ants do not feed on the tree itself. Instead, they capture and kill other insects that attempt to feed here. It is the presence of the ants, not poison, that protects the Soneratia. The tough shell of this beetle is ineffective armor against the tenacious ants. They force their way under its wing case and sting it to death. The beetle is carried off to the nest to be dismembered for food. Leafhoppers have attracted the ants to this tree. As they feed, the leafhoppers secrete a sugary protein solution called honeydew, eagerly consumed by the ants. With an appetite for the syrupy fluid, the ants actually milk and tend some species of leafhoppers like cattle. When production of honeydew exceeds the ants' needs, the weavers kill and eat the surplus hoppers. After a suitable site is chosen, the ants begin construction of a nest. The workers join by the hundreds to form chains that bridge the gap between leaves. Some grip with vice-like jaws, while others hold fast to their waists and pull together leaves that will form the walls of the nest. As the edges meet, seams are woven fast with silken thread produced by the ants' larvae. Gently squeezing them to produce a sticky lacing, the ants use their larvae as shuttlecocks, moving them back and forth to secure the closure. Inside, the queen lays eggs for the colony and is tended by workers who also feed her growing larvae. But ants are not the only residents here. A lycaenid caterpillar also occupies the nest and is actually feeding on the leaves that hold it together. Incredibly, the ants do not attack the caterpillar. Instead, they attend its every move and patiently repair the damage it has done. Because it has the same chemical odor as the ants, it is protected. The intrusion is also tolerated, for, like the leafhopper, the caterpillar secretes a sweet fluid. Even as a chrysalis, the lycaenid caterpillar is tended by the ants. On the mudflat, other animals are at work. Tiny Siarau crabs cause severe damage to tender seedlings. Now, with the pull of the moon at its most powerful, the tide returns. It will be the highest tide of the month. Denizens of the mudflat sense a change and make ready. A fiddler crab scrapes mud together to take into her burrow as sustenance during the long hours she will be underwater. Others cut perfectly shaped plugs to seal themselves below. Herein lies safety from predators carried in by the rising tide. With vigorous fanning motions, a pistol prawn aerates the water and oxygen-poor mud of its burrow. In the lower branches of a tree, a moth caterpillar prepares for the incoming water. Weaving a silken chamber, it will take refuge in a bubble of air when submerged. The lycaenid butterfly emerges from its chrysalis. Several hours must pass before the wings are dry enough for it to fly. It is now most vulnerable. But the ants do not harm the butterfly. Perhaps it is still protected by a chemical odor. This weaver ant is not so fortunate. The tide draws a hidden predator into the mangrove. To catch its prey, the archerfish repeatedly fires a powerful jet of water from its mouth. Somehow correcting for underwater light refraction and distortion, this waterborne marksman is accurate up to 12 feet.